How y'all doing out there? This is Pete over D.I.Y. Auto School, and I'm going to use a product. I've never used it before, but I've seen it used, and it's basically a product that's already pre-mixed. You don't have to do no second guessing. You don't have to do nothing. Like if you went and bought your own acrylic enamel or urethane single stage paint, you can actually buy a little bit of flattener from your supplier and add it into the paint, which would save you a lot of money and a lot of time. The customer specifically requested that I use this on his car because he likes the way that it lays down, he likes the texture of it, and he likes the satin finish look that it gives. And what we're talking about is the SEM Hot Rod Black. Okay, so you can see the box right here. It's made by SEM. It's part number HR010, and it's called Hot Rod Black. Now I want you to take a good look at this box. Okay, nice fancy box. It's got custom pinstriping on the box. It's red and black. It makes you look like, you know, you're doing something with hot rods, but I'm going to tell you something else, and I want you all to listen. All this is enamel paint with hardener and some reducer in it. That's it. Did I tell you how much this shit costs? I got this for $109. That's because I got an account with the people over here where I buy my stuff. Average cost on this stuff, if you walk in to a paint supply store, is $130 to $160 for one quart of paint.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Back to the situation here. It's called Color Horizons Custom Finishes. On the back of the box, now I'm going to tell you, I'm not advertising for these people. I'm not advertising them, but there's a lot of people out there that buy this stuff. And I'm trying to make a video on showing you how to use it properly. That's the situation we got. On the backs of the box, we got our directions, how much air pressure. It says use between 40 to 45 psi. You should use a 1.3 to 1.4 tip. You should spray at a distance of 5 to 7 inches back, and then it says finish time between coats 10 to 15 minutes depending on the weather. It also says that let's see, sand primed areas. Okay, so it's basically taking you step by step here on how to paint it. And then of course you got your mixing ratios, and it tells you how to mix all that. So yeah, you got the idea. So it's a fancy box, but is it worth $100 fucking for the box? No, it's not. I think it's bullshit. We'll get down the line with that and hope everything works out. I'm going to tell you, and this is a fact, you can make this stuff. You don't need to buy this high-tech expensive shit. Once again, the only reason I'm using this is because this was a request from the owner of the vehicle. He wanted to use this specific paint. And, you know, I got to do what the customer wants sometimes. I got to do that, even if I'm trying to save him money. You know, it's to his best interest. He does the way he wants. It would actually be cheaper to put some base coat on it. Let me see, where we at? Where's the base coat? There it is. Okay, take some base coat black and paint it, and then put some semi-gloss clear on top, but it's actually cheaper to do that, really, in the long run. The only problem is when you buy the clear and then you buy the paint, you're going to have clear left over, you'll have paint left over, so you can use all that for other stuff. Whereas you buy this, I mean, how many times are you going to use it? And you're asking me, how much will this cover? Now, this is a quart. It's going to mix up 1 quart and 1/2, because you got 1 pint, so it's going to mix up 2 quarts of paint with 1 quart of paint. So you're going to get 2 sprayable quarts out of this right here. For 100, I got it for 109, but the average price 135. And what it comes with your reducer. You don't have to buy any reducer, it comes with that. And it also comes with your catalyst, which is hardener. And what hardener is that, yeah, basically what it says, catalyzes the paint so it stays at that perfect uniform finish all the time. So try not to paint it without that. It's better to use the hardener and be done with it. But let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how this is used. Now on the side of the can here, it shows us our mixing ratios, how to mix that up. And then it goes through the directions again, you know, to show you how to spray it. But we don't want to lose our fucking box since it's nice and fancy and custom. Got our 2 additives here. We got our hardener, we got our reducer, and then we got our black paint. You always want to shake your paint up. Make sure that it's shaken up good and all of the pigments in the paint are uniform. Always remember that word uniform. Without uniformity, it's not going to come out worth a shit. I want to show you something else. I want you to take a good look at me and tell me what I need to do before I spray paint in that paint booth. I'm not going to tell you till it's time, but I want you to really think about it. I want you to look at me real good. And what should I do before I go in my spray booth and actually paint that dashboard? I'll let you go ahead and think about that while we're mixing this up. So we got our mixing cup here. We're going to go ahead and open our paint, just like this. And when you look at it, it's going to look glossy. It's going to have a nice glossy finish to it. The reason for that is it's not dry yet. Now, once again, the only additive that this paint has in it is a flattener additive. It's a flattener. And that's what makes the paint give it that semi-gloss. Once again, I'm going to tell you, you can mix your own up. If you got some black paint and you want to use urethane and you have some, go to your local supply store, get some flattener, add it to it. You know, spray a test panel, wait about an hour, see what it looks like. If it's not flat enough for you, then add some more. If it's too flat, then add some more paint. You know, make your own, what can we say, recipe up, so you don't have to do this. I'm going to take my paint. Now, I'm only going to paint a dash, and one more thing when you use this, once you add the catalyst to the paint, okay, once the hardener, that's the one with the red cap, once the hardener is added, you cannot, listen to me close, you cannot keep the paint. It's done. You got about 2 to 3 hours pot life, and it's over. The reducer, that's basically to thin it out, and the reason they want you to use the reducer is so the paint flows out nice and smooth, and you don't have any orange peel. So always remember, reducer. Another thing this is something I don't like about this product, is that the reducer they give you is basically an overall reducer. So if you're spraying in, let's say, 35, 45 degree weather, you're kind of screwed. Because this is probably your normal temp, which would be, 68 to 82 degrees. If you're spraying over 82 and you use this, it's going to dry too fast. So you got to remember that too when you're using this. This is made and designed for normal temperature, which is between like 65 to 78. Anything over that's too hot, you're going to use hot reducer, or if it's below that, you're going to use cold reducer, slow reducer. So you're going to use slow and fast reducer. Today's temperature over here is 65 degrees. We're going to be fine with what we got. So we're going to take our hardener And then we're going to mix it just like the can says, because we don't want to waste this. And we're going to go ahead and add our, that's it right there, the same amount of each. And then we'll go ahead and take our paint, and we're only going to mix up a half of a quart. I don't even think we're going to use that much, but we're going to make sure we have it. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it thoroughly. And then once again, this is called the Hot Rod Black by SEM, S-E-M, the HR0210. A lot of people rave over it. And it looks like it has a nice even run. This is how you test your paint. Do you see that? Look at that right there. See how it has a nice even flow? It's not dripping down, it's not real thick, it's not runny. So that's a good paint. I like it so far. And then we'll go ahead and cover our paint up so we don't get no trash in it. And then we're going to go ahead and get our spray gun rigged up. Now, you might possibly be using a HVLP gun. I'm not using an HVLP gun. What I'm using is a siphon gun. And if you're using an HVLP gun, it says that it requires a 1.3 to 1.4 tip, 1.3 to 1.4, to get the most accurate spray out of it that you can. The tip on this gun, I don't even know what it is. I know it's bigger than a 1.4. It's probably equivalent to a 1.8. But I've been painting with this thing for a very, very long time. I've actually owned this spray gun since I was 16. And I don't know how many thousands of cars that I've painted with this, but I know how to use the gun properly and get the maximum quality out of it. So you want to get your spray gun in action, and then what you want to do before you pour your paint into the gun, you want to get a nice, clean, what is this called? Filter. A paint filter. Strainer, I'm sorry, my mind was blocked there for a minute. A strainer. Always strain everything that goes into your spray gun. I don't care if you're using primer, if you're cleaning it out with lacquer thinner, whatever you're putting into your cup that's going to go through your spray gun, always strain it. All it takes is a couple little micro pieces of trash that's in there, and it will mess up your paint job. It'll make it spit out. It'll actually splatter. Okay, it'll give you an uneven spray pattern. A lot of stuff can go on if your gun is not clean. So we're going to go ahead and pour that in here through our strainer. And some people actually strain twice. And if you want to do that, that's up to you. No problem. One thing I don't agree on, and it's very important if you're using an HVLP gun, I don't even have one here, is when you take the cup off of the spray gun, you got a little filter underneath that cup. I recommend that you take that off and throw it in the trash. Don't ever use it. So now that we got the paint into our spray gun, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the booth, and we're going to go ahead and apply our first coat of our Hot Rod Black. Now, what you're going to see here applies to any single stage paint. The first coat that I apply to it is going to be a very fast, even, you want to spray it evenly, it's going to be a very fast, even semi-tack coat. That means it's not going to cover all the way, and the only reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to get any runs. That's real important when you're using single stage paint. Let's get in there, let's get some paint on this dash and see how this works. By the way, did anybody ever figure out what was going on here and what I need to do before I paint? Let me show you what I need to do. I need to take this shirt off. All right, this is a wool shirt. Collects a lot of lint. It has static electricity in it, and it's probably got dirt in it. Don't ever go in a paint booth and paint with a shirt like this. This is the worst shirt that you can wear when you're painting inside a paint booth or basically anything. This shirt right here has so much static electricity in it, just waving your hand across the item that you're painting, it will suck the electricity down, and anything in the air, any type of dust in the air on the floor, it'll be attracted to it and ruin your paint job. Never wear a wool shirt inside, or whatever these, any kind of shirt like it's inside a paint booth or when you're painting. Worst thing you can do. So what we did, we went ahead and put one very light tack coat. You saw how I went real quick. And then by the time I did what I had to do, I came back and I put a full wet coat on it. Now when I say full wet coat, we're not gonna go super slow. You gotta keep it at a moderate pace when you're spraying. Don't go slow like this. You wanna keep it nice and moderate. You saw how I was holding it about 4 or 5 inches from the surface. You see what I'm saying? Always pay attention to what you're doing and think of yourself as a robot, all right? Don't do this. This is not the right way to spray. You want to use your whole arm, just like that. See there? Bam. 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 Okay? We're going to go ahead and let that dry for approximately 15 to 25 minutes. We're going to come back, we're going to go in there and look at it. And I will tell you this, it goes on very smooth. I like the way that it flows out. You're going to see that. And it covers very, very well. I'm really surprised. I'm really, really shocked. So let's go back in there and check it out. And yeah, see what we got. All right, it's been approximately 25 minutes. Let's go inside and see what we got in the paint booth. And remember now, I only have basically one full coat of paint on it. And you can basically see that right here. All right, and over here where it looks cloudy, so we still have to put another coat on it, but this is the finish we're going to get on it. Now, another thing about this paint that you really got to watch is you got to put this wet on wet. That means you got to chase the dry out of the paint. If you don't do that, it will leave dry blotches, dry spots in it. I went ahead and painted these with it. This kind of gives us a better sheen of what it's going to look like. You can kind of see that when I move the light across it. So it looks like it's going on good. Something else I want to warn everybody about is dust specks and trash. What I did on the floor here, I went ahead and washed the floor down and put water on it to make sure that I didn't have any dust or trash anywhere. You can't sand this, you can't buff it. The only thing you do, you paint it, however it comes out, that's it, you're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my final coat on it. It looks like it's gonna be a 2-coat paint job. That means that I put my tack coat on first, and then I came back and I put a wet coat on it. I let that tack coat dry pretty much long enough to where I had the whole thing covered, and then I went back over it. I didn't let the tack coat dry for 10 to 15 minutes. I only let that dry for approximately 2 or 3 minutes, however long it took me to paint that. And I think by adding this very last coat to it, it should be enough, and it should work out and look really, really nice. We're gonna come back and look at the finished product when it's all done, and hopefully we ain't getting no trash in it. Hopefully. All right, it looks like we are now done. Let me see. It's a little bit tacky, but I believe this is the finish that we're going to get out of it. It's a semi-gloss finish. It's not a high gloss finish. And I think after a couple days of drying, it's probably going to dull down just a little bit more, because that's how this type of paint works when it has flattener in it. And you can basically see the sheen right here if you follow the light. See where my finger is? Alright, you can see that it doesn't have a super high gloss finish. This is a semi-gloss finish, but I want you to pay attention to the way that it lays down. Really lays down nice, and it flows out good. Another thing I want you to look at is that there's no trash in it. That's very, very important with this type of paint, not to get any trash at all in it, because if you get some trash in it, there's nothing you can do about it. If you get runs in it, there's nothing you can do. You can sand it down and repaint it, but the problem you have is if you get a run right here and you got to sand that run out, you basically got to paint the whole thing. Remember I was telling you how you paint it and chase the dry out? Alright, so if you paint here, you're going to have dry spots up in here, and then what that's going to do, that's going to cause a situation where it's dry. You're going to have a big dry spot here, and then everything else will be all leveled out. So if you get any mistakes in it, that's the problem you have. and you got to completely repaint the whole item, not just blend it in and, you know, take reducer and flow it out. So anyway, back to the situation. It came out nice. The paint works good, but the price sucks. I think, in my opinion, you can actually take your own paint, add some flattener to it, and go down the road for a lot less money than what they're getting for this shit. I went ahead and painted the glove box door and also the ashtray. Here's the ashtray right here. Those are done. So the dash is done on this, and all I can tell you is I hope this video worked out for you. It helped you out. It did something for you to get you off your ass. And we also found out that, where's the product at? All right, it's already gone. Let me get it. Helped you get off your ass and do something and actually learn about a product that's on the market that is way too, here we go, fucking price. Fucking expensive. But actually works pretty, but actually works pretty fucking good. Thank you for watching D.I.Y. Auto School.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.